Welcome back, brothers and sisters. Braden, Tim, Second Legacy. You are amazing. And today we have got to talk about something that is our struggle. I can't say it in German, but you understand. This is something that we've wrestled with quite a lot. Rhinos, the Republicans in name only, the ones who say they're Republicans, all about the freedom, all about standing up for the rights of their constituents until it comes time to vote for something and do something, in which case they're just Democrats. Yeah. Good timing, because all the nominations are all of a sudden becoming under scrutiny because of all these rhinos. There's like a list of 6 or 7 of them who just simply won't get behind some of Trump's nominees. It's weird. We're going to walk through the entire thing. Make sure that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn the notification bell on. Tim, the rhinos are coming out of the savannah, man, out of the freaking weeds.
Yeah.
Hate to see it.
It is. Well, look, the House and the Senate sadly are full of Lindsey Graham type rhinos. You know, we a lot of the appointments, look, this is not uncommon. So, the left out there is laughing because this is all they have. They got, the rear end stomped into the mud and they look like complete idiots after their candidate absconded $1.5 billion now is the total. $1.5 billion and still 20 million in the hole and still begging for more money. So this is all they got to glob onto. It's like, oh my gosh, Trump put, Pete Hegseth forward. Yeah. So we gotta freak out and talk about what a bad pick that is. And so this is just normal. Every single president that gets elected, the opposition party always criticizes every single
You
pick.
have to.
Now,
it's your role.
But there was a time in my life when I was a much younger man that it was also quite common for such picks to quickly move through the Senate so the government could get up and running, and they would have a vast majority of support from both sides of the aisle in the Senate during the confirmation process. It was actually more rare to see a vote straight down party lines. You would actually see Democrats, Republicans voting for each other just to get the government up and running. Fast forward to today, and everything is right down party lines, and it is it's alarming, but yeah, that's where we are.
It's the role they play, and you know what? This is where this video kind of takes the turn, and the whole impetus of the video. I expect the opponents of whatever side to go after the nominees. That's kind of their job.
Yeah,
their role
absolutely.
in this is to stand up and resist. What really irritates me, and I see this particularly only on the Republican side, is the Republicans stand up against Republican nominees because they want some way to leverage that power for their own favor. I swear, the Democrats, it's like, yes, this Satan is great. Did you see what he did in 1940s, 1930s? Great work. We're going to confirm him. Hopefully we can get some really great things going forward for stuff. I mean, literally, it is like, you're going to do this or you're not going to be in the party. Republicans, I'm going to show you in a second all the stupid crap, but the usual suspects, the Lisa Murkowskis, the Susan Collins, the Lindsey Grahams, John Thunes, Mitch McConnells, those guys.
Yep.
I swear it's the most frustrating thing on the planet. It's almost more of a fight to fight the Republicans in the Republican Party when you have power than it is to Democrats when you don't.
Right. Yeah, you have those 5 or 6, Republicans you're always battling within your own party just to get what needs to be done. Look, Trump won the election. You morons have the power in the House, Senate, and White House, and you're going to screw around now?
Right.
It's like,
run with the ball.
Right. Just give Trump his picks unless there's some real good reason not to. And then let's just get going with this thing, shall we? If the Republicans hold this up so that he goes 4 years without, cabinet assignments being made, which can happen, right? There can be cabinet positions that just never get filled in 4 years because of such stupid infighting. If that's really the path they're going to go down, I mean, the Republicans are just doing it to themselves once again. Once again. They constantly shoot themselves in the foot. They never learn from past mistakes. And you always have the same rhinos out there causing problems with the same constituents that keep putting these morons right back into power every election cycle.
Well, so this is where it ties in directly to our world in the gun space and the 2A space, the political space. Guys, these exact same people that we're about to show you the list of and some of these superstars of the rhino world, they are the ones that will be all too quick to sign things and to vote on things like the Senate Bipartisan Safer Communities Act, which is a gun control act, which was only passed by Republicans, led by Republicans, and Biden signed it. And then on the other side of that, something like mundane, like national reciprocity, it's like, ooh, I have concerns, and let's really get into our constituencies and really find out. Hey, Democrats, do you have any bridges you can name after me? Because I don't have enough bridges in my legacy. I'll vote no if you give me 4 bridges and 1 federal building. It's
right. I know.
it's so frustrating, dude.
It is. And look, the picks, I have problems with the picks too. If you follow me on X, like Bondi, I don't want her as the AG.
Oh no, Bondi, no, that's bad.
Right? Horrible pick. I mean, this is a woman that right down the line anti-gunner from Florida, right?
The special breed of Florida anti-gunner, though. It's like anti-gunner with the tan. It's very specific.
Right. You know, these anti-gunners are the ones that don't want 18 to 20-year-olds to exercise their constitutional rights. They don't mind sending them to war with said firearm. But when they come home, you're not to be trusted with a firearm anymore. Not until you're 21, because it's a magic
Well, you can't
number.
buy one. You can carry one, but you can't buy one. Oh,
that's right. You
can
just can't
own
buy
one, but you can't buy one. It's the most asinine.
I try to keep up with the stupid laws in all 50 states.
It's the most asinine stupidity. So I can carry it. I just can't buy it. What?
Right. And she supports red flag laws. She supports bump stock bans. You know, so this is not a good AG pick. So there are picks that I have problems with, right? And but that's to be vetted. And ultimately, if she got in, would I be happy? No. Do I want to like throw the entire Republican Party and the Trump administration into total chaos and cripple it because she got appointed? No.
You just hit something really solid, man. Throwing the baby out with the bathwater is what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people, I'm not saying anyone in particular, I'm just saying in general, people as a unit, they can get so amped about wanting to get their way with a specific nominee that when they don't get the nominee and 1 out of 10 is a bad nominee, but the other 9 are good, it's like, I'm done.
Yep. Burning it all down.
Down. And it's like,
voting for Kamala.
Yeah. You got 90% in that scenario, and we'll work on the 10%. I don't know.
I don't understand the all or nothing mindset that seems to permeate not just politics, but everything, right? It's just like, we have become so divisive in our culture that it's all or nothing. If I don't get 100% my way, then I'm not showing up to Christmas dinner. You're an a-hole, and let's burn the entire thing to the ground. It's crazy to me that we're here. So yeah, I mean, we have to speak out when we find the problems. And I've been speaking out against Bondi and
I did a video the second I found out, 100%.
Right. And the 3 picks for the Senate leadership, none of them were good. It was bad, worse, and more worser were our choices.
The good news is we got the bad.
Yeah, the bad one. And the other 2 were far worse. You think I was going to support it? And what was blowing my mind on X and places like that, people in the pro 2A community were like going completely for Scott. Like, we got to get Scott in there. It's like, don't you remember what he did in Florida?
Yes, Scott was a concern. He had some very bad 2A skeletons in his closet. He absolutely did. But what's interesting is Pam Bondi was his AG.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, it's
out,
truly fascinating. Yeah. It's kind of fascinating. But all that to say, the RINOs are coming out to play. Let's play this first one, Dr. Slides.
Some of these articles are very disturbing. He, obviously has a chance to defend himself here, but some of this stuff is going to be difficult. Time will tell. I like Pete. I've known him for a very, very long time.
The interesting thing about this is, where are those articles coming from, Tim? The ones that he's referencing.
The referencing come from the leftist media.
Correct. So the leftist media, and this is such an important point you have to understand when you're dealing with these people in politics and our gun rights and all the things, okay? The left writes articles, and they have a monopoly on the writing of articles. Republican senator reads said leftist propaganda article and all of a sudden is very concerned about his vote for Pete Hegseth, literally being propagandized by his opponents and not thinking for himself. That is exactly what you just saw.
Right. And I think some of this boils down to, well, his constituents have read said articles, and he's not concerned about Pete so much as he's worried about whether or not he's going to get reelected if enough of his constituents believe the propaganda. And then, of course, he's just a beat bag himself.
Yes, he is.
But yeah, Graham has, of the senators out there that I just simply cannot even stand to look at their face that claim to be Republicans, he's high on my list.
He's pretty high on the list. He has bright, shining individual moments randomly, but most of the time
very randomly and very rarely. There's very few redeeming qualities of him. But again, look, the complaints against Hegseth are the exact same complaints that have been leveled against every single Republican nominee since I've been alive. Clarence Thomas was a rapist and a serial woman abuser and and whatever. That's going back before many of you were even born. And I remember that when I was just a child, when that was going on. And it's continued to just when they were trying to get Trump's last appointments to the Supreme Court. Every single one of them were accused of some sort of sexual thing. This is not, and again, folks, these are accusations, not accua. These are accusations. These are not convictions. And I made the joke in a previous video. It's like, well, okay, let's just pick some random person and accuse them of being a murderer. Well, now, AOC, you're a murderer. I think you're a killer. I think you killed somebody.
There's allegations.
I have no proof.
It's
allegedly.
Allegations.
It's an allegation.
It's
but now
crazy.
you cannot serve in Congress because you're a murderer.
We can't have murderers in Congress. That's terrible. You have murder allegations. We can't do that.
So as soon as the allegation is leveled, that's the same thing as guilt. And you can't serve.
Absolute idiocy.
But and so they of course there's the sexual allegations, always are. That's a given. I would be more shocked if sexual allegations didn't come up against a political nominee or candidate of either party. But then of course their other big problem with the military guy, Braden, is the fact that he likes to drink. Oh no.
Well, no, he used to like to drink.
Yeah, well, he says he's not going to drink anymore. He said that he promised that, he would not drink if he, took on this new role, that he wouldn't drink while he was serving. And look,
which is a very stupid thing to say, by the way.
He should never said that, right? There's nothing wrong with drinking if you do so in moderation, right? It's not like a horrible thing. And the people that are criticizing him, I guarantee you, are sitting there criticizing him with their Bud Light in their hand. Okay, so these people are hypocrites. But beyond that, look, and this is a bit of personal information. I was a heavy drinker. I mean, half a bottle of vodka a day for decades. I haven't drank in 16 years. I quit drinking because it was destroying my life. I wouldn't even have a family if I had kept doing that. I learned that when I was a much younger man, that behavior. Thankfully, I shook it off. Pete says that he isn't drinking. And I, having been down that path and being 100% sober for 16 years, I'm willing to cut him some slack on that. Even if he was a heavy drinker, right? Because that isn't, to me, disqualifying for serving in the government, given literally everybody in Congress probably goes and has a drink with dinner.
Yeah, no. Anyway. I completely agree with you on that point. So now that we're starting to see that, guys, it's so fascinating when you stare at these people, like the politicians, the media, and the interface between the two. You start to pick up the patterns of how they communicate, and you start to see where the information starts and how it kind of channels left and right and who picks it up and where. Look at this. The CNN, what we're about to show you, and Dr. Slides has pulled up. This is CNN. Now they're magically doing polling on Pete Hegseth's chances of being confirmed as the Secretary of Defense. Watch this segment. I'll tell you when to stop, but watch this, Tim.
Oh, my. Chance that Pete Hegseth is confirmed as the Defense Secretary. You look 3 weeks ago, John Berman, very surprised by these stats. He had an 83% chance per the betting markets, tumbling down a drop of more than 70 percentage points. Holy Toledo, 12% now. I mean, Matt Gaetz, when he steps aside, still had more than a 30% chance of becoming the next Attorney General.
Oh, wow.
This is just a 12%. This is the type of odds when you really think that it would take a minor miracle, a mini Hail Mary, to in fact be confirmed by the United States Senate. The bottom line is this: the bettors very down on Pete Hegseth. You could do it in any language you want to do it. You could do oi, no bueno, no good. This 12%. Could it happen? Yeah, maybe. But chances are this dude is not going to get confirmed as the next defense secretary.
Just so you guys know, he does not rehearse that kind of Michigas nonsense.
Okay, pause that for me. So enough of that. By the way, I'm pretty sure those two are the biggest crush on each other in the world. Anyway, this is just reinforcing the propaganda that they introduced. So do you understand what's happening? You've got the leftist media going after Pete Hegseth because they have to destroy anything to do with Trump. All the propaganda, all the hit pieces, it gets filtered out. The Republican Senator RINO, Lindsey Graham, Susan Collins, all those guys, they start reading those articles. Then all of a sudden CNN comes in with a reinforcement of saying, look at the betting markets. It's only 12%, which is going to bleed them more senators. That's how they're doing it.
Yeah.
God, dude, it's so transparent.
I know, and I guess this is just the annoying side of politics, and there's many annoying sides. But and let's say he steps aside or doesn't get confirmed, then whoever they pick next, they'll do the exact same
thing,
and they'll continue this. Going to my earlier point in the video, they'll try to do this for 4 years to keep that position from being filled. But folks, we need a defense secretary. We need somebody, because Biden on his way out the door is setting the world on fire. So we're going to need our military in top shape. because the next 4 years could get pretty sketchy the way it's being left currently. So the games that they're playing these political games literally with our lives. Do I think Pete would make a good Secretary of Defense? Absolutely. The guy was a major combat veteran,
Sure.
right. Been to Princeton and Harvard. I mean, the man is
Very
more than capable. Yeah. Very capable, very intelligent. And they just love saying, and Fox News host. And they said that about a former congressman. They've said this about a former major combat veteran and Fox News host. Like suddenly that's disqualifying. So if you're a CNN host who has even lower ratings, does that mean these people are
No, that's
worthless?
credibility. That's credibility.
Yeah.
Tim.
Oh, okay.
It's credibility. You didn't know?
It's just funny watching CNN say, and a Fox News host.
Yeah.
Yeah. Somebody with like 100
it's a
times higher ratings than you.
Like
and
it's a pejorative, right?
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, dude. No, I think the bottom line here, guys, the reason we bring this stuff up, the people that you're talking about are Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Lindsey Graham, John Thune, Mitch McConnell, and one other guy named John Curtis. Whatever. But those other five, you've got establishment rhinos, and then you got the wishy-washy rhinos. That's what you got. You got the Democrats with Republican on their name, like Susan Collins and Lisa Murkowski, and then you got the wishy-washy Republican establishment.
Yeah.
This is where we have to fight, people. The struggle against Democrats was just the opening salvo. In the trench battles, this is coming for the Republican senators. That's where we're at right now with this politically.
Yep. And look, the next 4 years, the razor thin majority that the Republicans have in the House, the thin majority that they have in the Senate, this is going to be the next 4 years over every single policy issue. They're going to do everything they possibly can. You're going to see discussions of nuking the filibuster coming up over and over again. You're going to see all sorts of stuff coming up. And this is a lead up because remember, folks, in 2 years, we have midterm elections. And this is something that they're going to be pushing for. They're going to try to defame every single person in Trump's orbit. And the only way I see this stuff moving forward, and that's to be expected, right? There's nothing you're going to do to stop that. But what Trump, I think, could do here is, if there's a pick that he truly wants in there, to say that he really wants Pete in there and wants to move on from this, he can put his foot down. He can go have conversations with these 5 or 6 holdout senators, and he can make some comments to them, I think, that make them very uncomfortable to pull them along. I think Trump has a little bit more power than your average, incoming political presidential candidate.
No, he does.
This guy has quite a bit of clout at this point within the Republican Party. So if he truly puts his foot down on a nomination, he's probably going to get it. I don't think we've seen him do that yet, but I'm sure he's going to get tired of this game.
Well, they can lose. They can lose 3. They can lose 3 Republican senators. So I mean, like if you factor in the regulars like Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, and you got one other, maybe a Mitch McConnell.
Yeah.
I mean, you got a pretty healthy margin. So I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But Trump hasn't played hardball yet, but he certainly can. And it's so funny because a lot of the Republicans that are suddenly pro-Trump before he won the election weren't pro-Trump.
Yeah, I hate Trump. John Cornyn, bastard.
And why do you think those people are suddenly pro-Trump all over again? Because Trump has quite a bit of power within the Republican Party, and they don't want to be on the wrong side of that. So
correct.
He can do some stuff if he really feels strongly about a nominee.
I think we'll see. I mean, I think that we'll see it. The point of this video is to show you guys that the fight really begins against the rhinos. I mean, it was an interesting little battle skirmish, barrage against the Democrats way over here. The real battle is going to be the Republican rhinos.
And now it's the Civil War in the Republican Party.
Yeah. I mean, and like I said earlier in this video, as we're wrapping this, the things of which we have striven for over the last 4 years of holding the line against the Democrat onslaught against our gun rights, actually honestly gained a lot of ground too through the judicial, but the payoff would be getting something going the other direction, like a legislative win of some sort. Trump's already promised national reciprocity. These exact same 6 senators can scuttle that. Everything we worked for 4 years can be scuttled by these 6 people.
Yep. So
dorks.
If anybody needs to be leaned on, it's Trump. When these senators are misbehaving, Trump needs to step in and apply a little political pressure, which he will. He doesn't need us telling him that. But anyway, all right, folks. Thank you for watching Second Legacy, and we'll talk to you guys soon.